We've been filming it now. Actually, we've been filming it for 10 years. And in all that time, we've done thousands of bits. So I think there's been maybe physical altercations or the possibility, a very real possibility of, like, right to the brink, maybe like 5 times, which is not a lot. It's like once every 2 years, once every 60 episodes, which is like once every like 200 and something bits. Because we're not really like trying to fight anyone. But I think what happens is every once in a while, you get that guy who fights someone every day. And then you're no different. He's going to fight you that day. So we had one guy hit Murray in the face with his cell phone once.
Ooh.
Was he hurt?
It was just like a flick and he hit him, but he was a big dude and got really, really mad because he was like, Murray was in the store and Murray was talking to his wife on the phone and he had to pick out bras for her. So he's using the guy to put the bras up against the guy. And the guy was like, I forget where he was from. He wasn't, I didn't think he was from like the States. So it was, I think there might've been a cultural interpretation, you know, and he was just like, he was very offended by it. And he chased Murray around the store and then they had to ask him to leave. And then he said they were going to call the cops. He said he's coming back to avenge.
Oh, you don't want to hear that from a fucking foreigner.
I mean, we were like, he didn't care that it was a show. He didn't care that we were just fooling around. He didn't care that it wasn't personal. He wanted to come back to avenge. So when you hear that, we're like, yeah, let's just finish and leave. So that happened once in the pilot, which never even aired. Like the parts of the pilot, like the presentation where we just kind of like, they were like, maybe this could be a show, go shoot some stuff. We shot something where I told a woman, and we tweaked the show because I told a woman that her little infant baby, it was in Washington Square Park, and I sat next to her and I was like, "Oh, is that your baby?" And she's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "It's ugly." And normally we don't go there on the show, and we never really do. But in the beginning, we were finding the footing, and I told her baby was ugly, and she was like, "Oh, really?" And she kind of like had a smirk on, but she turned around and she just slapped me in the face.
Oh my God!
Yeah, like spit came out of my mouth. And I was like,
Jesus.
"Oh my God, I probably deserve that." And then I told her it was a show, and she felt bad and left, and she even signed, but we never used it.
But do you have that footage?
That was bold. I mean, someone had it 10 years ago. I don't have it right now, but that is bold to turn around when someone just says that your baby is ugly and then assault them. That was we were like pretty shocked at that point. And that happened immediately. That was like the first thing we were ever shooting. And then nothing like that has ever happened since. So that was like a 1 in a million thing too. She immediately laughed and said, "I'm so sorry." But like, I don't know what possessed her. Imagine what it would take for one of you. Let's say, Shannon, you're a female. She was a female. If someone said something you dislike, to turn and then just open hand slap them across the face. Like, I feel like you'd have to be pushed to the limit to do that.
Maybe
that was all that was said, and she did it.
Maybe you were the 5th person that day to say that her baby's ugly.
The babies are ugly. They all look the same. Like, there was no different. Like, the baby was no different than any other baby. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a wild one. So, but I don't really remember anything. There was one time. I mean, fights have broken out around me. I've had insane fights break out around me. There was one time at one of the bars one night that I worked at where the full bar was fighting. And again, in a decade of bartending, that only happened once. But I was just like, I can't even believe this. Like, what's going on? But I did
awesome. Fucking melees.